Good afternoon, Colorado. Good afternoon, people listening outside of Colorado. Man, this is Josh with K4CO Radio. I am the president here, sitting down with our vice president, Sarah. How's it going, Sarah?
Hi.
Hi.
Good.
Yeah. You all ready for Thanksgiving?
I am. I'm so glad you asked. 48 hours before. That's my turkey noise.
That's a great turkey noise.
The turkey, 48 hours with no snow. But we're here, and it's been beautiful here in Colorado. If you guys are getting snow somewhere,
I'm jealous.
You looked at me like I was crazy. It's not snowing.
No, it's not. But I'm jealous if it's snowing somewhere else because I want snow. You don't.
I just don't want to drive in it. That's it.
Fair enough.
But I am super excited for Thanksgiving, yes.
Yes, definitely.
Just relax and happy pre-Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah. We have some wonderful people in the studio right now. If you are listening on the radio, if you're driving, pay no attention to this because, you got to let that person in front of you that just turned on the blinker. Don't speed up. Don't be like that. But if you can switch over to the K4CO Radio social media platforms. What is it? K4CO Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
Yes.
And see our very pretty faces.
Yes. This is one I would highly recommend interacting with.
Just because I love them. I absolutely love our guests
and
here.
It's a topic that is ever changing and ever morphing, sometimes on a daily basis. So
Did you just say morphing?
morphing.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a word, I promise. Changing. Altering.
Changing.
Yes.
And what makes these two really fun as well, though, is they work together and they live together.
I think it's more than that too. Yes.
There's a lot that encompasses lives together.
That is true.
Exactly.
They're full partnership.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Michelle, Oddo, and Tim Oddo, the owners of the Oddo Group and mortgage specialists. How's it going?
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Doing great. We're
Good
excited to
evening.
be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. Absolutely love it. You guys all ready for Thanksgiving?
We are. We just got ready like a day ago, but we're getting there. Yes, no snow, but it is really freaking cold out there tonight. It's
Yes.
getting there. I think
It is.
Feels like it's maybe coming in. And I got my Christmas lights up today on my house.
Nice.
I mean,
Michelle's
I
very
didn't do
excited.
them, but we had somebody.
That's good. I appreciate that you waited till right around Thanksgiving
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I told her to wait till after, Sarah, but she had to do it.
48 hours, give
It's
her a
close
grace
enough.
period.
Yeah.
I mean, see, this is
We're gonna let it
spousal
ride.
stuff, right?
This is-
Yeah.
it's a
So
give
work
and
it out.
take. We'll work
Give
it
and
out.
take.
Give and take. Here's the give and take. So, Michelle,
Give, take.
it works. It seems to work great. It's been working like that for 27 years. We went shopping for turkey stuff, right, for Thanksgiving on Sunday. And Michelle's traditional. She wants to do a turkey. She wants to do her mom's stuffing, all this stuff. And that's great. Like, I love that about her, that she has these traditions every year. It's important for our family. But I'm kind of like, turkey, I'm kind of tired of turkey. It's old. It's boring. It's not as cool as it once was. So I'm like, we should do Steaksgiving. Okay?
Ooh.
Prime steak from Costco.
But we eat steak all the time. So I was like, So we compromise. We're going to do both.
So that's how we did it.
That's a good compromise.
What is your address?
Hey, we have room, for real.
Yes.
You guys should come.
Yeah, the two of
like,
you
no
can-
joke,
Pause.
actually.
I guess
Yeah.
they're not giving us their address. We don't want it to go over the airwaves.
Well, we don't want it on the
Well,
air.
Are you
Yes.
sure?
But we will give you, we'll private
Off
message
air.
you.
Off air.
We get like 20 people up. Hey, I'm here for Thanksgiving.
On air, you're
Yes.
invited. Off air, we'll give you the address.
Okay. I love that though. We have done honey baked ham before in the past, and to your point, like I'm not a big turkey person. I love changing it up. Steak is amazing, so we
Yeah.
just do honey baked ham some years.
I love the dark meat. I don't like the white meat. White meat gets too dry.
It's way too dry.
Yeah, way too dry.
If I do have some, it'll definitely be the dark meat.
Yep.
And for chicken, I'm always a thigh guy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have the good dark
I
meat.
like the
It's
skin.
juicier.
I would know what other time of the year am I eating, skin off of the turkey, but Thanksgiving, it gets crispy. It's like, I love it. Anyway,
She'll make
I
an
like to
exception.
stuff that turkey, all the things.
All right, I have a question though. Do you guys have mac and cheese as a side dish on Thanksgiving?
We don't. We don't. I mean, that sounds really good. We haven't. We
I
have
just
a,
found out it's a side dish for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. One of the most popular.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that kind of makes sense
I'm in.
because
I'm in.
Anytime you go, like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, Boston's, they used to do, like, the rotisserie chicken. They would always have the mac and cheese with it. No, we always do, like, a broccoli cheese casserole, sweet potato casserole, mashed potatoes, stuffing, all the things.
Kind of traditional stuff.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Cranberry, you know,
Yeah.
I make homemade cranberries.
Well, thank you for coming in a couple days before Thanksgiving to
Yeah,
celebrate.
we're excited.
Yeah.
This should be a new tradition. Maybe we can have the Oddos in
Yeah.
to tell us all about the mortgage world, because as we're entering into holidays, there's
Yeah.
probably some shifts going on in there.
Did you say
Exactly.
Some shifts.
Oh, okay.
Shifts.
It's,
Yeah.
both of those things are
We
going
started
on.
with morphine, and we've already moved into shifts. And it didn't take long,
I
did
need
it?
to enunciate.
Yes.
That's right.
You're morphing and shifting.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Well, Michelle, I appreciate you kind of teeing it up. Because you all, of course, you've been married for a few decades, more than a few decades, and you work together.
Yeah. Our anniversary is actually New Year's Eve. It's coming up.
Really?
Yeah,
got
like
married
on New Year's Eve.
On
We
New
did.
Year's Eve?
Yep.
Nice.
We thought that would
That's
be...
just so I would never forget it, Sarah.
That's
it.
awesome.
the
That's a
only
great
reason.
And also, it
thing,
was
yeah.
it was a party. Like, it was really fun. People never laughed that night. Like, that was when we learned that the hard way. Like, 2 a.m., we're like,
All right, go home. We're
"It's-
tired.
Party's over. Let's go."
That's perfect. You make sure your guests stay up till midnight. You know, it's a party all night long. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
You guys are smart. I like it.
I agree.
love it.
My kiddo was born on New Year's Day.
Oh, wow.
And I've yet to buy him a present for his birthday.
Because it's all
a
Christmas
true-
presents.
well, it's all Christmas. And I'm like, the whole world is celebrating, and you get fireworks. It's
Right.
like your anniversary.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a built-in party.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You know, live it up.
Yeah.
Well, so how is that working together with your significant other?
Well, first, I want our listeners to know exactly how they met, because you guys never even met face to face before you were googly about each other, right?
Googly?
Yes,
Google
googly.
it. Listen, if you can say morphine, we can say
we can
Google.
say
We're
Googly.
morphing, shifting, and Googling tonight.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. I mean, ironically, it feels like decades ago, but we met in the mid '90s.
Well, it was decades ago.
Well, okay, not quite
Almost
3 decades,
to
almost
be
3. All right,
exact. Okay.
and but it was pre Facebook and pre social media,
Google.
Pre
Google,
exactly.
pre everything. So when we met,
Yes,
I lived in Denver. I was a mortgage broker. I worked for a small mom and pop mortgage broker, a husband and wife, and we did loans, and we started connecting with this group out of this lender out of Florida, South Florida, down in Fort Lauderdale area, and our rep and underwriter was this sweet little gal named Michelle. And so we got to, we talked to her. I talked to her every day, and we talked about loans, and she would give me a hard time, and she'd be like, "Come on, you can do it, sell them, do this. Come on, Tim, She was like pep talking me already, right? And so we, I just was like, wow, this girl's really smart, and she's funny, and she's really good at her job. So I was already kind of really impressed with her. I was like, she's really a cool chick. And then, right? And then what happened?
Yeah, so we just became friends over the phone, and we really had a good time joking, laughing together. And probably for a year, we just were friends, and we would talk all the time over loans, but other stuff. He would go on dates, tell me about his dates. His son at the time, my stepson, was 7 when we finally met, and then 9 when we got married. So, I liked that about him. He was a good dad, like just all the things. And then finally we came out for a trade show. So we met in person for the first time, and had been, a while that we'd been friends. And I had said, "What do you look like?" Because I didn't know. And he said, "Oh, some girls think I'm okay." And I was like, "We're just going to be friends probably, but that'll be all right." And so we met at the
That's
Chop
fine.
House, took everybody to dinner at the place he was at the time. And and as soon as we saw each other, we kind of knew. I saw him, and I was like, "You're gonna marry him." I just kind of knew. So then we, I had to go back to Florida. I think we did a hike that trip. Well, I wanted to hike, but he took us to Red Rocks because I'm from Florida. So I'm like, I can't really do a hike.
Yeah, it wasn't really a hike.
It's got to be. Anyway, went back, and then I said, I don't think I want to hear about your dates anymore. Like, we're not those kind of friends. Like, So and
We
then
both kind of started knowing that we
Yeah.
liked each other.
and then we
At that
just
point.
did, and then we did start dating long distance, and eventually, I was here.
So before you met face to face, you were talking about each other's like, oh, I went out on this day.
Yeah, yeah.
I went out on this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, his son, different things we were doing. He would tell me about dates he didn't like, what I could just tell. Like, I'm like, I think I kind of like, we just knew we liked each other. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds sort of familiar.
A little bit. I love the whole from a distance thing. And then, so when you saw him for the first time, we were like, yeah, he's all right.
No, I thought, wow, he's like so much better than I expected, and actually pretty handsome. Well, because he said, some girls think I'm okay.
You aim low. I didn't want to blow her out of the water. I didn't want to come in, with too high of a bar. So I thought, I'm just going to go in easy and we'll just see where it goes, right?
So I had low expectations because I didn't know. I just thought, he's so nice. We'll probably just be. He's got a good personality. We'll be friends. So then we just.
He's funny, but he's a dog. Probably he's probably a dog.
Yeah. So then we decided we should take that to the next step, and we dated long distance, and eventually, he was like, listen, you're going to have to come out to Colorado if this is going to work. We can't do long distance forever. And his son was here and everything. So I was like, yeah, I like Colorado. So my company actually transferred me out that I was working for. And it wasn't very long. It was back in 98. So right before the mortgage industry, a certain sector, subprime, as you remember it, started to really falter. And so the company I was working for was having problems. And I ended up going to a different company, and then they were having problems. And Tim said, we just need to work together. Like, you're putting all your efforts into other people's businesses. Let's do this together. So because at that point he had already left and started his own mortgage brokerage company. So then we worked together really from then till now. I mean, we had a couple, like when I had our first son, I stayed home, had our second son, and then, so I stayed home for about 6 years. But that's really, in the whole 30 years, like that's the break that we had.
That's very cool.
But she was so good at the mortgage business and knew how to put together loans and files, right? And she knew how people's income and credit and all that. I'm like, why don't you come on the retail side, right, and work directly with the customers? Because before she was working with different mortgage companies, helping these guys get their loans done. It's like, you're so good at it, just come and work with the public directly, and let's help them, and then we can kind of combine our talents and work together. And she was really nervous. She was really, really nervous. I don't know. She was comfortable working with brokers, but not with the public.
Well, I didn't have a pipeline. Like, I had to go build a business, so that was a little stressful. But it didn't take very long. Then within a year, we were just really crushing it. Honestly, we were closing so many loans back then. It was a lot easier. I mean, it's good that they put more restrictions and more safeguards in place, so it's not as easy for people to get a loan or even to put a loan together. I mean, it's always been difficult if you're good at what you do, because you really want to delve in and get all the correct documentation and give everybody a chance that deserves a chance to get a loan. And it's more difficult now than it used to be, which is probably a blessing. But that's something I really love, is that backside of the actual underwriting of the file and understanding what's a good loan and
figuring out how to make it work. And but it took her about 5 minutes, and she was doing it better than me. I'm like, see, I told you could do this. And literally, she was in about 2 weeks. She was like, oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. Putting them together. And
just had that, because it is a completely different animal, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to talk with underwriters all the time, and it's just talking to us as bankers and stuff like that,
right?
Not the public, directly to public. So
right.
It is a different animal. But
I think it is.
What I love about it is, as a rep, when you're dealing with mortgage brokers, you get these files and they're a hot mess, and the papers are everywhere, and none of it makes sense, and they don't have the questions filled in, like the answers to the questions that you can see in the loan, like, well, what did they do before? Well, why are they doing this? Like, none of that's in there. A lot of them. And so I was like, this is so frustrating. But when you get to actually put the loan together and deal with the client and help them make it look the way it should look and get everything answered and buttoned up and make it a clean, pretty file, so when it gets to the underwriter, they're like, I just want it wrapped with a bow on it. I want them to go, yep, approved, done. I don't ever want an underwriter to go, well, what is this? And what is that? And why isn't this, there's questions here that aren't answered.
Right.
And so I liked that all of a sudden that was on me to do that with the client, versus like dealing with all these brokers that were just like order takers and just really sales and didn't understand how to put the file together.
Sure.
Because it matters, when you're trying, especially on a file that might have a few warts on it, right? It might have a couple of little issues that need to be dealt with. It matters how
like warts. We call it hair. Hair on the file.
Okay, hair. All right. Warts are gross. Well, so does morphine. Okay.
And
no.
hair.
All right.
And hair.
Morphed. Okay. Sorry.
Shapeless.
All right. But yeah, I mean, you want people to know how to put it together to make it look good, so that you can convince your bank that it's like, hey, this is a worthwhile person.
Right.
We're helping them. We're going to take this person and get them across the finish line, cross that chasm, and help them. And they're going to fix, right? A lot of times it'll help put that bad stuff behind them, and within a year or two, their credit's way better or whatever, right? Everybody's situation is different, but it matters. And that's where Michelle's really shined over the years, as far as figuring out some of the harder to do stuff. She just has a way of being able to kind of, run the gauntlet and figure out how to get it across the finish line. So,
well, it's a huge strength because you know exactly what they need, exactly what they're looking for. Exactly.
You don't look at them like a checklist, right? It's an
Right.
actual relationship.
Yes.
And it's truly, I remember the first time I heard you speak, I know I've mentioned this to you before, but I was like, this is a woman that I want to get to know. Because it truly, the way you walked everyone when you gave your presentation through the process of really how you take care of them. They become like a family member. And it's not like, here's your loan, it's been nice. Like, you really develop a long-term relationship with these people. You both do that. And it's a huge, it's a huge gift that you give to people, because you're helping them not only with the biggest asset they probably will ever purchase, but you genuinely care about these people.
Yeah.
And so, to your point, when you hand it to someone, say, here's the full package and it's done, it's because you've spent the time with these people. So it's not...
It's a gift to us, too. Like, we get a lot of fulfillment out of those relationships, and, watching people build wealth and getting their next home, and then buying an investment property and refinancing. Over the years, you get to watch their whole life, and watch them build wealth and make great financial decisions with your help. And that's a blessing to us, too. So.
It is. It's actually a surprisingly big blessing. I mean, we earn a living by helping people, and we get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And knowing that people, it matters, right? I mean, we had a thing where we send out a birthday wish via email, and the lady came back and she responded to my email going, hey, happy birthday, Liz. And she responded back going, this has just been a great loan. And because they were people that they weren't sure initially, right? How much do we need this loan? And is it going to really help us? And
for the audience, a reverse, because he only does reverse mortgage. So it's unique, and obviously people are sometimes apprehensive. So
yeah. And so this is like 6 or 8 months ago, and she was just like, "This has been great. This has been such a great decision. We did this." So it just is like reinforcement. Like, yeah, what we're doing matters. Our relationships matter. That kind of thing.
Completely.
And I definitely see that too, because we've had Tim in a few other times with clients that you have helped out, and just the situations that they were in, it was like a godsend. Because, reverse mortgages were just very interesting when they started out, and kind of had a bad name and everything. A lot of misconceptions, a lot of things that people...
True. And to Michelle's earlier point, I mean, there are more parameters now just in the entire scheme of things, which... Yes, it makes it more challenging, but I think it's a very good thing. Because, I mean, truly, it was so lax in the beginning that it created a lot of problems. And so now it is. You make sure it's the right fit for the person that you're talking to. It makes a huge difference. Because everyone is so different in their stage of life of what they want. Kids, no kids, grandparents, do you want to move? Do you want to stay here for 30 years? I mean, there's so many different
the
components to
strategy
this.
really does change based on what their plans are. So it's important to understand all of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun with this. I want to kind of know, because you guys suddenly just decided to start. What made you guys say, let's start a business together?
Yeah.
Let's work together and be married to each other, because a lot of spouses will be like, no, we could not do this. So I mean, what would you even say to spouses who are just like, I think we're gonna work together?
I mean, I think you have to have your lane that you're in, and make sure that each person has their roles in that environment. So like when we first started working together, we were brokers at the time. We had our own brokerage. And so we had to each kind of divide and conquer. And there were things that are Tim's strengths that aren't mine and vice versa. So, we would hire and have to train, and I would do a lot of that training and work directly with the staff. He would do our P&L and do, this like pay, all the insurance, like all this stuff that I didn't like, but just really staying in our lanes. And then we both had our own client base, so that helps. We're not working on the same deal together. I think that would be a lot more challenging. I don't know that we would still be married. I don't know.
I love it bobbing inside.
But so we get to like do. We really have it's kind of cool because we each have our own client base. We each have our own, referral partners, all that. But then like the office, our staff, and all that is combined. So we do have to figure out who's good at what and who wants to do what, and then let that person be in charge of that and not step into their space. And that's a big deal for sure. And there's times where we've messed that up or we overstep or on both sides, but we have to recognize it and apologize and say, no, you've got this. I'm doing my thing or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of people say that, like, how do you do it without killing each other? It's like, well, the truth is, I mean, we work next door to each other in offices, but I have my thing and I'm pursuing my stuff and talking to my people and my clients, and Michelle's doing hers. So we don't directly have to talk about everybody's, although a lot of it does spill over. I mean, this is what we do for a living. This is our life. So we go home and Michelle's working through a file or I'm working through a situation, but it's good. I mean, one of the strengths of being married to this wonderful woman over here is that she's not afraid to tell you the truth, and she's not afraid to give you the honest answer. And sometimes she's like, hey, I don't agree with that. You're doing it, I think you're handling it the wrong way, or, you're getting too emotional about this. And right. So, that is the truth. I mean, that's the strength of a great marriage, really. Never mind the business piece, but for me, it's combined because she'll give me what her opinion on the marriage and the business side both.
I always preface it with, "Are you sure you want to know?"
Yeah. Sometimes she says, yeah. Sometimes she will do that. Do you want to know what I think? Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. I'm going to be mad right now. I'm going to stew on this, and maybe tomorrow you can tell me how it actually is. Okay? And we do it that way.
I like it. Well, that's very, very smart.
Yeah, true blunt honesty at work and true blunt honesty at home. Exactly.
But I mean, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, don't you really want to know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if I walk away mad, I'll usually a day later, I'm like, she's probably right. Okay, right? And then
we know couples.
It sometimes takes a while.
Yeah, like we know couples that will like wind each other up and like just like, yeah, you're right, and just like it just get. And we just aren't that way. Like, if one person, we're really good about always being the other's devil's advocate, which sometimes can be frustrating because you're like, I just want you to commiserate with me. And if we really want that, we'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't want, just listen and just, be mad with me right now. And then we'll do that. But we're not ones to be like, yeah, and just amp each other up. Like, we try to balance each other in situations. And I think we do that pretty well.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I'd say that's one of the strengths of our marriage.
Yeah.
On both sides, right? For marriage and for work.
Right.
Because it's a marriage in both personal and business life.
Do you guys have a rule for like shutting off the work day at the end of the day, or is it because you guys are in similar industry or the same industry that it can roll over, and it does roll over?
Well, I'm going to say that
we should play the game Who Does This Better, and we close our eyes, because I'll tell you who's way better at that is him. I'm not good at that. I could talk about work morning, noon, and night.
24/7.
Like all the time. I could.
24/7.
And I enjoy it.
And she loves it, and she never gets tired of it, and she's always happy to talk to you about a situation. And her dad was just like this. Her dad,
he was in mortgage.
He was in mortgage. That's where she learned. I mean, she grew up in the business, essentially. And she'll go to bed at night stewing over alone to try to fix it, and then wake up and dream about it and work through it. And the next morning at coffee, I'm sitting there. I'm just trying to chill, maybe watch a couple of YouTube videos, just kind of veg, get going. And she's like, I figured out how to fix my problem, And so, I definitely am.
So he's much better. So that's a good balance, because if he was like me, we would talk about it 24/7.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's not talk about this right now. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And we have to
And she is good, yeah. But there is definitely I'm an extrovert and I love people, but there comes a time where, it's 8:30 at night and I just want to veg out. Like, I don't want to think about it.
No more words.
Like, like no more words. I don't want to talk anymore.
Right.
And and I just have to tell her that sometimes because she'd just be like, yeah, let's go. Let's keep going, So.
It's true.
I'm tempted to ask you, but no, I can relate. I have brain, the brain is on work a lot.
Yeah.
And it's always doing.
Yeah.
And the second my head hits the pillow is really when it ignites. I'm like, no, it's time to go to bed. But nope, there's my to-do list. It's like, now I have all these ideas. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to share. It's like, yeah, right. Can I just watch the show? And
it's the blessing and the curse of ADHD. Like, I can literally do 100 things in my brain at once, and physically too. So, and he's always like, slow down.
I can totally understand. Yeah. Well, it's also because you focus, of course, on the reverse mortgage side of things. So that probably helps you both kind of stay in your own lanes and just that world too.
Yeah.
Other than like the operations side, like a lot of times he'll want advice or vice versa. Like he'll need, like, this isn't flowing right now in our office with our team, because we share some of the ops people. And it's like, how do we fix this? So we'll just sit down, and that's really my strength is operations. So a lot of times, we can help tweak it, make it better by just talking it through. But yeah, that does help that we're doing so.
Yeah. And over the years, I've been able to help a lot of her realtors, for instance, with a reverse mortgage, right? Or, because she'll be talking to them like, you know what, that's a perfect situation. This person doesn't qualify. They don't make enough money. They don't have enough income to qualify. They would qualify for a reverse mortgage.
Right. Or maybe they barely qualify, but it's all the income they have. Like, that doesn't make sense. They have nothing to live on, So sometimes we bounce clients back and forth too. Like, we have a client just recently, and we'll do this a lot, where they wanted to buy before they sell. So you can't do that with a reverse because he didn't have the assets to do the down payment. But I was able to do a purchase with a really low down payment, just a normal loan. And then once they sell their home and they have their assets and all that, he'll want to go back and refinance that into a reverse. So sometimes we share clients, back and forth.
Yeah.
Depending on their situation.
Yeah. And matter of fact, one of our guests here that we had earlier, he started with Michelle. Him and his wife did a loan with Michelle.
Way back,
years and years ago, 10 plus years ago. And then I ended up doing a reverse for him a couple of different times because their situation changed and they needed more monthly cash flow. So, it's fun to, to see the life, over the last 10 or 20 years. Yeah. What we've done for a bunch of different clients and customers.
It is pretty amazing. I mean, not only are you bringing decades of knowledge and expertise into the field, but I love that you bring creativity and to what really works. I was in the world for a shorter period than you all, and I've learned more from you all than I did in the industry.
Wow.
It is it's an absolute
That's
truth.
nice.
When I hear you guys talk, I'm like, I had no idea that even existed.
Well, when we were in the industry, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but with who we worked with, it was kind of like a one-size-fits-all type mode.
It was definitely less, but still, we were so, I think, programmed in a way to say, this group is going to fit into this, right? And that is so not true at all. And instead of saying, because so many people are denied, right? You don't make enough money. Your credit isn't good enough. You have too many open lines of credit.
Into the wrong loan.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then they're set up to be in a really miserable spot. But you all actually listen and say, there are actually other different ways. Let's look at this a different way.
Let's put less money down and pay off all your debt. Or let's whatever. There's a lot of different shifts that could take place.
Different morphing abilities.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, I need to mention this. Okay, so Tim and Michelle Oddo are here. For those of you that are listening, go to oddogroup.com. If you want to contact Michelle, it's Michelle with 2 L's, MICHELLE.Oddo, ODDO, at goluminate.com. Or for a reverse mortgage, or for laughs, and to see a very handsome man. Not in the same sense. You don't have to laugh at him. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's
or both.
Very funny looking, is what she means. Hilariously funny looking, yes.
Tim.Oddo at goluminate.com. And Michelle's phone number is 303-961-6906. And Tim's 303-233-4500.
You got it.
I know. I was going to throw another little acronym in there, but
Yeah.
we'll stick with that. I like it. Definitely go to oddogroup.com. I mean, you get to have their story. Their services are there.
Hundreds of videos.
Right? And you guys are all over social media, which I applaud you for. Thank you. Because you're educating people. Thank you for doing that in a world. And today it's really reaching out to your community saying, here we are.
Yeah.
And here's this different loan that's coming out. Here's what the market is doing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's actual research that you all are putting into it.
I mean, just follow them just for the content. I mean, it's actually very good content that you guys do. A lot of times, do you guys do that yourselves?
It's a combination.
Okay.
We'll like for our videos, we do have a videographer that does that and edits.
Right.
But then a lot of our posts come from our marketing department or some that we create. We really kind of mix it up and put a lot of our own personal stuff in there too.
Right.
I think there's nothing worse than people doing social media and letting corporate handle it for them and not actually being involved, engaged, not replying, not responding, or putting their life out there. You know, this is today's world. Like, you can't be a secret agent. Like, nobody wants to see just a bunch of canned corporate stuff.
Yeah.
They want to know who you are. They want to know who they're working with. And so we really try to put a lot of that into what we do as well. So it's a combination.
It is interesting now that we're on that, and completely to your point, you know, there is such a shift with AI and social media and chat GPT, and, you know, it is interesting. And I see almost a division happening where it's going, oh, yes, everything is going to be AI.
Right.
And people are, yes, unfortunately losing jobs, and there's that shift. But then there's a whole other shift going, oh my gosh, we need people in contact so badly. So we love the face-to-face. We love the human. You know, when I call a number, I want to be talking to a person.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I don't want to be outsourced.
It's
to
the human
anyone,
touch, and it's important because we, you know, I tell Michelle all the time. It's like, I mean, we both graduated high school in the '80s. I mean, we're old dogs here, and we're children. You know, we grew up in the '70s and '80s, and it's like, I go, everything was better in the '80s. I could pick up the phone, almost everything. Yep. And you could call people, you get somebody on the phone, right? And it's just like, it's amazing, right? People want to reach out and know they can talk to somebody that hears them, can communicate with them, and help them figure out a solution to their problem, right?
Right.
But also blend the tech in. Like, it's really important to have that technology and to be able to utilize it. So, you know, I always say, like, my business, I'm high tech and high touch. Like, I definitely am appreciative of all the technology that we have and we can leverage to do our job better and quicker and more efficiently. But if you are only leaning on that and you're not personally involved, you're totally missing the boat. That's, I think, the key.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because it started before the internet and everything like that, too. I think one of the first experience of that, movie phone, if you remember that.
I do remember
movie phone.
that.
It's just like, all right, what, you know, a robot voice, what movie did you want to see? Blah, blah, blah. It was not a human being.
Right.
And it would have been so much easier to just be like, yo, I want to see The Rock around 7 o'clock at this theater. Oh, here you go. But you have to go through the whole prompts. You have to do all of that stuff. So
I just watched a Seinfeld episode. Remember when Kramer was doing the movie phone?
He was doing it. Yeah.
He was doing the movie phone on there.
Why don't you just tell me where you want to see it? Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, but then, you know, it's gotten so far where now it's like there's even a lot of companies where it's just like, just email us. We'll get back to you in a couple days whenever we can. You know, that's all they have is an email, not even a phone number. Not even,
no phone
it's
number.
that
It makes me crazy.
Touch that,
it is. I purposely stick with a smaller bank because I can call them and I can actually talk to a human being. I'm not getting put on, right?
And our bank too, we have two banks. So we have our original bank we've had forever, and then our bank, Luminate Bank, which is out of Minnesota, but it's small. Like, we're big, but we're small.
Right.
So you can pick up the phone, get a person, you know, talk about your bank account, whatever, which is really cool.
Yeah. Sarah's going through that right now where her bank that she's been with forever.
I might be quiet on the name.
is being bought out.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's a nice bank where you can call them at any hour, any time, you know, and
Well, we have a solution. Her
Go
name
to
is Gretchen.
Bank.
I know.
Her name is Gretchen.
You get, I think
And
we're doing
she's awesome.
2.5%
Thank you.
on checking accounts right now, which is pretty good.
That's great.
over 3% on
over 3 on
savings.
saving. Yeah, I don't know. It's all good. I forget because it just moved because the Fed lowered the Fed rate, but anyway, we're still in that higher. We give a really high yield compared to most banks. So
That's
anyway.
great.
Did you start out as a division of Illuminate Bank?
Well, we were our own company always. And then when I had the kids and I stayed home, Tim was trying to do, remember I said like I was training, I was that whole thing.
Yeah.
And he was trying to do it all. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to lose my mind. So he ended up, we kind of got folded into a company, which is no longer on Universal Lending. And we became a branch of them. So that was the first time that we went from being completely independent to under an umbrella. And then not shortly after that, I came back to work and we were there for a bit. And then we made one other move and then to where we're at now. And so we've always been, it's a lot like, think of it kind of like a franchise, but we're just like, we're our own company. We're our own branch underneath Illuminate Bank, the umbrella of Illuminate Bank, who does our funding and all those things.
But the
So we have
beauty
the
of
best
working,
both.
the beauty of it is that, right, you're still dealing with an individual company, sort of, and you have the individual touch working with Michelle and I, but we're part of a platform that I can lend I just closed a purchase reverse mortgage for a couple in South Carolina today.
Right, because you guys
instance,
are all
right?
across the nation.
Yeah.
Because
That
we
you
can
can
lend in
work
all
with.
50 states because we're a federally chartered bank. So
Right.
we obviously a big percentage of our business is Colorado is local, but we can also go anywhere in the country, which is wonderful. So,
Which also helps when you help somebody out and they're their family member who unfortunately they're not in Colorado. It's okay. I can still help them out.
Oh, they're moving to Arizona? Great. We can
Right.
help them there in Arizona
Exactly.
too. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
it's
We do a
great.
lot of
It's
that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Especially with mine, it's like a lot of parents, right, are somewhere else or are trying to get here, and we can help them
Right.
do either or. So
Exactly.
Well, you had brought up a little bit Fed is definitely changing. Who knows what rates will do? Me personally, I hate the rate discussion. I always have. Because, for those of you that are waiting on the rate stop, this is my opinion only.
Agree.
Okay.
Mine too.
This is Sarah Duke's opinion. I do not represent the Oddo
It's the
Group.
only thing that the media talks about.
Well, it's true. There's such they're so fixated on the rate, right? And then you have the frenzy of, oh my gosh, now everyone's going to go buy it. And then you end up spending a lot of times more than what you would have if you had just gone after the home when the rates were a little bit higher.
I'm waiting for the rate to
it's-
drop a percentage. In the meantime, the house I want is getting more expensive.
Right, exactly.
That's just one example.
That's just me personally. You guys are the experts, of course. But with that being said, there has been a little bit of a market shift going on. The federal government has had some interesting shifts across the board. How are you all navigating the changes?
It's good because to your point, the media loves to scare. They love scare tactics, right? Because that's what sells. Fear sells.
Right.
So when rates were higher than we'd seen in a long time, when you go from the 2s and the 3s to the 8s overnight, that's shocking.
Yeah.
And it really
For all of us.
put a freeze on everything for a while. I think people were like, what is happening? Like, this can't even be happening. But now we're back into like the low 6s. And I think that that's very palatable for people. And there's a lot of people that bought homes during the frenzy, when rates were 2s and 3s, they were just like, we got to buy a home. Like, we don't even like this house, but we got to buy it because we got to buy. And you know what? There's 20 people buying every house we're looking at. We're getting outbid, and the house prices are going, 100,000 over, 50,000 over asking. So today I talked to clients who are like, the only thing I like about my house is the interest rate. I hate this house. Yeah. Or they need to move, whether it's a divorce or a downsize or a relocation, or their family. They've grown. Their family, they've had more kids. So all those types of things. When you're in the 8s, people are just like, I'm not doing anything. But when we got into the 7s, we saw some movement. And now in the low 6s, definitely a lot of movement. I had a really good year this year, and I feel like 26 will be better. And we keep waiting for rates to get to the 5s, and we're not quite there. Although you can get there with interest rate buy downs. But I love what you said, that if you wait, we all know that when rates come down, home prices go up because more people jump in the market.
Yeah, more people are shopping.
More people shopping. And with every 1% reduction in interest rate, you get, millions of more people out there able to qualify and ready to buy. And so that just drives prices up.
Yep.
So you can buy today with today's prices and you can refinance later when rates come down, but you've locked in that home price. If you wait till rates come down, you're going to lock in a higher home price. You're going to offset your rate with your price. So better off paying that. So to answer your question, what's going on in the market? I feel like it's loosening up and people are making more moves.
But it's been a long time in the works. I mean, it's been 3 years. Our industry's been in a recession, right? We've been in a pretty hardcore recession where we probably lost 50% of the loan producers, loan officers across the board. I know in Colorado, and it's probably pretty true across the country.
Yeah.
So, I think Michelle's right. I think we're seeing things finally loosen up. People are going, okay, we got to get back in the game, right?
Like I need to make a move. I'm going to do it now. I don't want to wait any longer. I'll just refinance. And that's a smart move.
Yeah, I do too. I think so too.
I'm curious because we've all, again, back in the day, it used to be 5-year, 10-year. So now we have this new thing floating out there.
When mortgages started out, it was 5-year or 10-year.
was 5
Do you mean ARMs?
Or
time in the home?
For a mortgage period of time. So now we have the 30
that they
year.
would keep it. Okay.
Yes, because the 30-year has now been, that's pretty new.
That's
right?
pretty standard. 30 years.
But
30
now we
year
have
fixed.
No, they've been around
Now
forever.
we have a 50-year.
Oh,
They're
right.
talking about the 50-year. Yes.
Okay.
I love that you brought that up. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this.
I don't want to share my opinion.
I want to be with
All right,
first.
for all the haters, for all,
Sarah Duke has got some strong opinions about the mortgage market, okay?
I am not
And
the
she's
expert.
and she's
I
not
just
afraid to
haven't-
tell you.
That's right.
she's not wrong. No, listen,
I'm
there's
leaning on
two
you
takes
all.
on this. There's two takes on this. So from the haters' perspective, the things that people don't like about it is they say, okay, I'm not going to wait 50 years to pay off my loan. That's going to take forever. I'm not hitting enough principal. I'm not, I'm paying twice as much interest.
Right.
True, if you keep the loan 50 years. If you're not going to keep the loan 50 years, which is pretty much everyone, then those things don't apply. And so what it does is it creates a little bit more affordability. So for some people, it could be $250, $300 a month savings that could be just the difference that they needed to get into a home. And I think if it's the choice of doing nothing or buying with a 50-year, I would say buy, still buy, build appreciation, pay more when you can pay more, whatever. But the fact
Still
of the
get
matter is
some tax
people
benefits.
do not stay in a mortgage for 50 years or 40 years or 30 years, usually 5 or 7. And the fact is that you are going to pay less principal and more interest with a 50-year loan. That's what I don't love about it.
Right.
But I do like the fact that it could create more affordability for some people that maybe aren't willing to move forward. And this would still help them get into a home that the house will still appreciate. Whether the mortgage goes down rapidly or at a snail-like pace because you have a 50-year, the house will still appreciate.
Right.
So to not buy or to make that be, the catalyst that maybe got you into the home,
Right.
I like that. So I have opinions on it too. I think if you can
Okay.
afford the higher payment, you should do the 30-year.
Can I weigh in on this?
But if not, I think a 50 year is fine. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
don't even know what he
Yeah.
thinks.
No,
Do you have
no,
any?
She
I love
likes
it.
to-
Just sweet.
It
All
was
right.
just-
Give me
just-
1 second.
just take a
All right,
moment.
go.
She's got a strong opinion about things, just like you, Sarah.
I do not.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I actually agree with what Michelle said. I think the big thing
Hold
for
on, you
the
interrupted me to tell me that you agree?
well, I just wanted to talk for a minute. That's
All
all.
right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Let me talk. Let me talk first. Okay.
All right.
See, we're
Let's save
married.
time.
It's not perfect.
Yeah.
We're
It
married.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it is affordability, though, right? That is the big. I think that is the big thing.
is.
So I've always been a proponent of if you can pay your mortgage off quicker and sooner, to do it. Yeah, we're in the mortgage business. I still think there's nothing wrong with paying your house down quicker,
Right.
And owning your home. I mean, and some people think I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm conservative and I like that. I like the feeling of that. So if you have a 50-year mortgage and you can make double payments because you got a better job, I say go for it. Knock yourself out. You're building more equity. It's a savings account in the shape of a home, right? You know, you're building equity that you can use down the road. So I think that's smart. But affordability is a big issue, especially for young buyers. You know, I think of our sons, and it's harder than ever to get into a home. And so if that helps people at least get their foot in the door, Josh, then hopefully that'll be good. But if you get your foot in the door and then my son gets a raise and doubles his income, I would tell him, start doubling your payments, like pay that sucker off quicker, right?
Well,
exactly.
so okay, I want to make sure that I'm understanding this, because I never thought I would talk about a 50-year mortgage. I mean, my mind kind of exploded when I first heard that. So all things considered equal. So if someone came in, great credit, great income, all of it, if they're talking about a 5, 10, 30, 50, and again, I'm sure it depends on the person, would you automatically go to the 50 to say, okay,
I wouldn't.
So
I wouldn't either.
If they were, okay, that's good.
Either.
That's good to know, because
I'm not trying
theoretically it
it's
would be
not a car where you're like, let's get the lowest payment. Like,
well, exactly, because if you're looking at just the lowest payment,
No.
so if they didn't have the payment and that was their number one priority, was I have to save at least 100 or 200 extra bucks per month. Then you're leaning more towards, it sounds like, the 50-year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's going to be folks, there's going to be a segment of the population that's probably younger and not fully established, or, in their first or second job, that they wouldn't be able to afford a home without it. So to be able to get into a home, if it had to be a 50-year, I say go for it, right? If that's the only way. And even if you do a 30-year, I've always been of the opinion that do a 30-year because it gives you a little more flexibility in your month-to-month payment. But if you're doing great at work, or you're making big commissions because you're doing a sales project and you're doing great, make a bigger payment. Pay your loan down more. You could still pay a 30-year loan off in 10 years if you're so inclined, and if you have the additional cash flow, then knock yourself out. Go for it.
But also, I think it's important to look at a person's situation, because some people have a high interest rate credit card debt, or maybe student loans that they want to get. If they have other things, if you could if instead of always thinking about, I'm just going to pay the house off, because we don't always agree on this. We actually have a difference of opinion on this. I feel like if you could take that money and leverage it and invest it and make a higher rate of return, I actually am a proponent of that. Yeah, we disagree on this, and that's okay.
I think it's great.
But
It's
I think
nice
that
to have
people
different
should
opinions.
We don't
take
want
that.
people to think this is a perfect, like we never argue. That's not true.
We just disagree on
but-
it. But like, here's a perfect example: our own home. Like, I didn't want to pay our mortgage off. I'm like, we had a really low rate. I mean, at the time, I'm like, take that money, leverage it, invest it. But at the end of the day, that was really important to him. That's a big deal. So we have to compromise, and that's okay. But if a client's asking me, what should I do? I'm going to look at their whole situation. Yeah. And if they have a lot of debt, I would rather see them attack the debt before they start making extra mortgage payments, because the interest rate on those things versus the mortgage is, it's more important to get rid of that. Or if they have a vehicle to get a really high interest rate return on some sort of an investment, I personally think that they should spread, they should not, all the money shouldn't go in one basket. It needs to be delegated to different different things, and diversify, so you're building wealth in different areas.
And I don't
because
disagree.
the house will appreciate no matter what. That's my.
And I don't disagree in that, right, you should try to pay off high interest rate revolving credit card debt and that kind of thing, or student loans. I mean, that should probably be the top priority. But if you're able to pay that off and eliminate that, then, putting extra money towards a mortgage, you're not going to get an argument from me, all right? Even though we're in the mortage business.
Yeah, he sells debt, but he doesn't want to really.
No matter what she says.
People out of debt.
Well, I mean, I
It's
think
just a different. Like, it depends on your financial outlook. If you want to leverage it and invest, that's an okay thing too. So.
But part of the American dream is owning your home, right? And trying to pay out, right? I mean, my grandparents' generation, everybody on their, or the big majority of the people own their home. They didn't have a mortgage, right? That was their goal, right? And it's slowly eroded. But I don't think there's anything wrong with, finding a happy medium. But to have equity in your home, be smart, right? Have some investments. I mean, just because we do mortgages doesn't mean, we're not out there looking to put people, refi them and put them up to their eyeballs in debt. I mean, just the opposite, really, right?
Yeah, you both are right.
Yeah.
Probably more me.
It just
I
depends
can
on their
tell
situation.
by the look on her face.
Well, it
Michelle.
depends on their situation.
My look on my face for what?
I said probably more me, slightly more me.
Oh,
Probably.
however you want to take that, Tim, is great.
Sarah's like, Michelle's talking. Tim's like,
No, but it's good to your point. I mean, because every situation is different.
It
and
is.
what you
Yeah.
just laid out is exactly correct.
Right.
I mean, everyone is very, very different. And I look at all of those scenarios that you just talked about.
Yeah.
And what's lovely is if you are a new home buyer, whether you're in your 20s for your first job or you're starting a new career, and there's so many different things, you're relocating, it's nice to have the knowledge and have both of these opinions
Yeah.
to
Right,
say,
yeah.
you can do this however you want, what makes the most sense for you.
That's what I was going to say, because what they just demonstrated is fully informed. Make your own decision. Here are the benefits. Here are the cons.
Right.
This is what I think. These are the different possibilities here. What do you want to do?
Right.
Knowing all this.
And what's going to make the most sense, right? I mean, we have a 22-year-old son who's a senior at CSU right now. When he graduates and he gets a really good job, and in a couple of years, if he can buy his first home, and the only way, or it makes the most sense to do a 50-year loan, we would still be advocates of get into the loan, right? And get in there and get your foot in the door. Use that as a placeholder. You're going to hopefully get some appreciation over the years. Be faithful, make your payments, and then either refinance that or make extra payments when your job and your lifestyle affords it, right?
Right.
I'm also an advocate, though, like if you have kids and you have assets that you think, oh, one day when I die, I'm going to leave them this, right? Or I've got all this equity in my home just sitting here. I really love to see my young buyers when their parents help them and gift them money, because that bigger down payment really makes a difference. It helps get that payment down. It gets rid of that PMI. So if a parent's able to do that, and that's our goal for our kids, to help them buy, is to have a bigger down payment through, I want to see my kids enjoy what we have for them while they're alive, not when I'm gone. So there's a big push right now. There's going to be a big shift in assets and people's, you hear about this all the time, right?
Sure.
And so that's a big thing. There's going to be a lot of money that's going to be going into the economy in the next probably 10 to 15 years that people are able to give to their kids before they pass.
I'm so glad you brought that up. It's definitely been on our minds, the baby boomer generation. It is going to be a large shift. And where are these assets going to go?
Yeah.
And especially your home is probably, if not your biggest asset, one of them for sure.
Yes.
And how are you handling that to definitely, if it's something you're going to pass down, do it wisely, if I can use that word. Don't leave your kiddos or grandkids in a situation where they go, oh, now we've just inherited a lot of debt, something we don't want or we don't understand. So I think, again, to your point, to be with experts that are explaining all of this, like, is the reverse mortgage really the best option for you? Let's look at your age. Let's look at what you want to leave behind. Do you want to die in this home, or
Yeah.
or
Right.
are you
What
gonna
other
move in
assets
5
do you
years,
have?
right?
Do you have an insurance policy? Like, there's so many other things. A lot of like for the reverse mortgage conversation, most grown kids would rather see their parents thriving and have money to live on and enjoy their life than watching them scrimp and save and starve to death so they can leave them something. Like most adult kids, if they have their life together, and they don't all, but they don't need their parents to, like, they're not sitting there waiting for the parents to leave. You know what I mean? So I think about my poor grandma. She was Russian, and she just was of that era, that Depression era. And like, even as a very old woman, she would walk to the grocery store, never take the bus, carry her groceries home, saved so she could leave her kids money. And it was like, by the time, they didn't need that. Like, I hate to see that. So
No, it's
anyway.
true. You're talking about quality of life, which is essentially what we're all talking about.
Yeah.
I know my grandfather would yank out the nails and reshape the nail to reuse
Oh
them.
my
Wow.
gosh.
Right.
So, and I've heard
We
of rinsing
lived through that.
the bags,
Absolutely.
but that's
It
really
went
a whole
back
new
on
level.
top of the sink. And same thing with the paper towels.
Yeah.
Like, they did not throw anything
Yeah.
away.
That's
For
why I
just-
will not eat leftovers, Sarah. That's why I refuse to. Okay,
That's
I refuse
true.
to.
That's another thing we disagree about.
That's another,
That is a
another
point. That is a
discussion.
Big
point of contention. So we won't delve into that one any more than we have. But
Leftovers are great.
They're
They
the
can be even
best.
better
I
the
eat them
day
for
after.
lunch. I love them. You won't
like for her, like
Lovely.
it's like a victory. I'm like, man.
If I can use all the food, I'm so happy.
Yeah. It was great
But what
the
I
first
do
time.
is I trick him, and he knows this, but I just reuse it and make it a different meal, and he doesn't know it. Like
I know
chicken
it.
tacos. Like he thinks
Not that I don't miss a trick, but
he doesn't
You're like,
always
this
know.
tastes 23 hours old,
Yeah.
sweetie. You know?
But to that point though, about there is this big generational wealth transfer going on. I just did a reverse mortgage for a couple in Highlands Ranch who have $1 million home. They own it free and clear. Both of their daughters are grown. They both have families and they have their own homes. So they're not, they're pretty well off.
Right.
So these guys are well off too. Again, this idea that it's a loan of last resort. It's only for people who have no money and have what they did was they just basically took out a reverse mortgage line of credit. So they're not going to borrow all the money that we're going to give them. But, maybe
have access to
but they have
it.
access to a portion of their equity, not all of it. Again, it's a big misconception. But at the end of the day, let's say these folks use a couple $100,000 over the next 15 years of their life, right? And then they both pass away. Well, they've had some awesome vacations. They've taken their family, on some cool stuff. They've enjoyed their life. And the $2 are still going to get a home that's probably got $800,000 of equity in it, right? So their daughters are still going to walk with a big chunk of, a pretty good chunk of, significant amount of money.
Right.
But yet mom and dad just were able to go out and do their own thing and have a little bit more financial flexibility. And really at the end of the day, that's what Michelle and I are both doing, right? We're trying to create more financial flexibility and more financial options for, folks.
People who need it. Yeah,
people
exactly.
Need it. Right.
Completely.
And that is a misconception too, because you guys can't go over 50%. You guys are protecting people to keep their own home, correct?
Yeah, I would say on average, most loan to values in the reverse world, Josh, are much more conservative. We're usually about 40 to 50% on average of the loan to value. So, right, even if they wanted to borrow all the money we could lend them, correct, they're probably going to have 50 or 60% equity in their home still.
Right.
So this idea that you're going to use up all that their two daughters are going to have no money is a false assumption.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
You two are amazing. Just thought I would throw that out there.
I love it.
We think you're amazing.
Oh, I am amazing.
Yeah.
We always have fun coming
it
in
is
and talking
fun.
to
We
you guys.
really
It's
enjoy
always
it.
a
We're
good
either
time.
laughing or crying.
Yes.
Truly, you have brought, we talked about this earlier, is the testimonials that you all bring in of the people that truly you've changed their lives. To watch them be so emotional and so grateful for what you all have done is astounding to me. You can get a mortgage lender really anywhere, but to have the friendship and relationships that you all provide while giving them that service and that gift is incredible.
Well, and in my mind is, if I'm going to get a mortgage, if I'm going to get a loan, am I going to go through it just inputting stuff on a computer where I don't know who's processing it, I don't know who's doing what, no one's really communicating with me, I'm just throwing stuff in there? Or am I going to talk to people who have been doing this for a long time and they answer their phone, they answer their texts, they answer their emails, and they walk me through it so that I am fully informed?
And they actually care.
Yeah.
That to me goes so far.
Yeah.
With every industry is, I'm like, do you actually care about my livelihood? And it truly,
Yeah.
Empathy is so
you know,
huge, and it's a
it is.
loss. There's just like a loss of customer service, empathy, caring.
Yeah, and that connection.
Trying to actually do a good job, how many times do you go to get something or a service or something and it doesn't take much, but they won't, people just won't even give that little bit extra and you're just like, just want some customer service. So it's really important.
I agree. It is. Even at the grocery store, we were there earlier today and you could tell it was like the woman was like, God, I'm so tired. I'm like, tell me about what's going on in your world. It's just to actually take, and to your point, it doesn't take that much to actually say, I feel ya. Holidays are stressful, and when do you get off of work, and what are you going to go do when you get home? It's to say I acknowledge.
Everybody
you
has
as
a story.
That
Exactly.
is so true.
Right?
Yep.
And I love that about people.
And that machine at the self-checkout won't tell you, but talk back to you
No.
unless it's just like scan.
I know.
Yeah, it's not fulfilling.
It's not as fulfilling. No,
And
it's
and it doesn't trust that you're 21.
I know, right?
That's
It's like,
true.
I have a cold. I'm buying Dayquil. Goodness gracious.
Come on.
Like,
Speaking of, those little poppers, we'll end on a high note here. Those little poppers that we usually do for 4th of July?
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
how old you have have to be to
this is
purchase
crazy.
those?
No.
How old do you think?
At least at Walmart.
18.
I would think not. I would think it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not
Right.
real.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like a real.
You have to be 18
That's
to
crazy.
purchase those little poppers because they have
Like
gun.
the party poppers.
Yes, the
Because
ones
they
that
have a
they
small amount of gunpowder in them.
Oh please.
Oh, right? We had
Remember
kids-
those
yes.
snap gun? What were those little pop
guns.
guns?
Yes.
What were
they're-
those called?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with that
Yes.
strip with the little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The red
Hit
strip.
them with
they're-
rocks and
Yeah.
overthrew a gun.
We
Yeah.
could buy
right.
those.
And they're now selling the Red Rider. Right?
Oh, they've been selling that
You
forever.
could
The BB
put your
guns. Oh,
eye out
yeah.
with that.
It is. I never knew they sold those too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Christmas gift for anyone that's listening and their kiddo wants some.
We should have asked how old you have to be to purchase that.
That's true. A BB gun.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was amazed at the poppers.
I would think
have to
it's
be
got to
18.
be 18
It
if
has
you have
to
to
be.
be 18 to buy
It
party
better be.
poppers.
It better be.
Isn't
Huh?
that crazy? I know. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah.
Lots of
Definitely.
little tidbits.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming on in. It's always a pleasure. And
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you did catch the last end of this, it is going to be on our social media platforms for at least a month. K4CO Radio, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. So rewind it, check it out. Go to oddogroup.com, ODDO group.com, 303-961-6906. You can also call 303-233-4500. Coming up here in about a half hour, we have one solid hour of only Colorado musicians in our rotation. The rest of the time, it is 1/3 of our rotation. And then a repeat of Kind of Vague Radio tonight at 9 p.m. with Andrew Talent and Rob Dixon. You guys take care. Have an amazing Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
too.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Steaksgiving.
Thanks.
We're
Steaksgiving.
embracing
There we go.
I like that idea.
I do too.
Steaksgiving. That
Steaks.
sounds
I'm
wonderful.
telling you, Steaksgiving. The only leftovers, I'll do a turkey sandwich. Okay, I'll give Michelle that.
Those are good.
A turkey sandwich.
Sandwiches are good.
Lots of mayo.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I agree
Okay.
with that.
I like the asterisks.
Yes.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Have an amazing night, and then you'll be hearing from us tomorrow. Take care.